Good evening, everybody. There are still some empty seats up here near the front, scattered in the middle. If you want to have a seat, there's plenty of room for everybody to sit down. This is the 2019 Assessment Vote Results Meeting, special meeting. I want to thank you for attending, and good evening. Whoa. There we go. I'm Tom Throne. I'm the chair of the election committee. And on behalf of the Bella Vista Association Board of Directors and the election committee, I'd like to welcome you to this special meeting tonight. I will act as chair of the special meeting, and I now call the meeting to order and ask Tammy Lloyd, our corporate secretary, to record the minutes. The voting polls were opened on October 19th, 2019, and in accordance with bylaws, they are now closed. Members had to be in good standing as of September 30th to receive a ballot. Thank you for everybody who took the time to cast your ballots during this month-long election. At this time, I'd like to introduce members of the election committee and ask them to stand. Bob Rischel and Dalkey, and James Miller, and they're all standing over there. We meet a couple times a year and work on the elections that the POA board proposes. Also present tonight are members of the board of directors, and I ask them to stand. Ruth Hatcher, chairman of the board. Some of these folks are back there. David Brandenburg, who is vice chair. Jim Abramson. Jerry Hover. Steve McKee. Mary Sinkus. Jerry Barron. David Welchel. And Tia Bidwell. We thank them for their service on the board. In attendance tonight is Suki Hildebrand. She's a representative from the Inspectors of Elections, LLC, who serve as the independent inspector of elections for our meeting tonight. And Suki, if you'll stand to be recognized. Also present is Jeffrey Neal, representative from Kutak Rock, LLP. The board's attorneys, and he is also in attendance tonight. So, Mr. Neal, if you'll stand. Now I want to turn this portion of the business meeting over to Suki and ask the Inspector of Elections to state whether a quorum is present.
We have 18,521 Class A votes presented at this meeting in person or by proxy, which is 52.96% of the votes eligible for the cast at this meeting. We have all Class B votes represented at this meeting also. According under the association governing documents, at the quorum is present.
The corporate secretary will now certify that all members eligible to vote at the meeting are given notification of today's meeting.
I, Tammy Lloyd, corporate secretary, certify that a written notice of this meeting was distributed beginning on October 9th, 2019 to all members entitled to vote. The notice contained instructions regarding how to access information regarding the proposal to be voted upon and how to vote. Additionally, the notice will be entered into the minutes of this meeting.
We will now turn to the voting item on tonight's agenda. As set forth in the notice delivered to the members, we are seeking a membership approval of an $11 monthly assessment increase for improved lots and a $2 monthly assessment increase for unimproved lots beginning in 2020. Would the Inspector of Election please announce the voting results?
Yeah. The proposal received the following numbers of votes for Class A members, which the affirmative votes represents 50.07. 50.07 Voted in favor was 9,192, or 50.07%. Voted against was 9,165, or 49.93%, and abstained was 144, or 0.78%. Okay. The proposal received for the following number of votes for Class B with affirmative votes represent 100% of votes cast, which is 14 or 100%.
Based on the preliminary results of the vote, it appears that the assessment increase has not been approved. The official results, hang on just a second. The official results will be expected to be announced at Thursday night's regular board meeting. This concludes the official business to be addressed at the meeting. I ask the Inspector of Election to present to the Corporate Secretary following this meeting a certification of the number of votes represented. What do you mean what's going on? No, it did not pass. We had to have 51% in order for it to pass. And we were at 50.7. Yeah, I can bring it back. You needed 9.93%. Okay, so I ask that the Inspector of Election to present the Corporate Secretary following this meeting a certification of the number of votes represented at the meeting, and that the count of all votes and ballots for each class of members at the meeting, and that this certificate be filed with the minutes of the meeting. The certificate and minutes will be available to the community on the POA website. I want to thank you for attending the meeting tonight. I encourage members to reach out to the election committee or board of directors if you have questions. Contact information is listed on our website. We'll be happy to address questions if you have them. If there's no further business, we're going to adjourn the meeting.